It's the iPhoneography podcast. It's Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, and the iPhone event just finished up about an hour ago, and we are here to talk about it. So I got my two good friends, Dave and Dwight. Hey, guys.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Dave.
Happy
So,
afternoon.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going to get right into it. Now, you have to pardon the glare on my glasses from my screen, but actually, I could fix the document here, but I'll probably have the Apple website open as we discuss this a little bit too, and it's got a white background on some of the pages. But anyway,
It's not too bad, Greg.
yeah, it's not bad, I guess, if I look down maybe. But anyway, so thanks to anybody who's joining us in the YouTube chat. We got maybe Will Newcomb. He said he wasn't sure if he was going to be awake at 4, but
Well,
that's
we got
for our time, Will, not yours.
We got Wilbur Long and Todd W saying good afternoon.
Yeah. So
Hey,
welcome, guys.
Always great to see people.
Yeah, and fellas, give us your questions, comments, whatever. We'll try to address those as we go. So iPhone event. First they did the AirPods. Not going to really talk about that. Then they covered the Apple Watch. Not going to really talk about that. If anybody wants to know more about those things, by all means, go to the Apple website. I'm not in the market for either one. So, but anyway, so they announced the iPhone 17, and I called this episode the 2025 iPhone event because I didn't know if they were going to change the name of the iPhone to the iPhone 26, like they did with the operating system. But then I just realized now that, that wouldn't make sense because the 20th anniversary of the iPhone's coming up, and they're going to want to call that the iPhone 20. So I should have just called it the iPhone 17 event, but anyway, I digress. So just before we get into the details of the phones themselves, guys, any thoughts? Any initial impressions? Any surprises?
The colors.
Honest,
I like that orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to let it all sink in. I didn't see that much, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I've been deep enough into the rumors that pretty much they had the rumors already. The rumors had pretty much everything there. I think the only thing that was majorly missed was the blue color. The fact that the Pros and the Pro Maxes are coming in silvery white, that orangey copper, and then the dark blue. So there's not a black, there's not a gold for the first time in however long. And the colors are a little bit, but I think they can do that now because, and this is one of the major changes, the 17 to me is a minor upgrade from the 16. They new camera, new front and rear cameras. I think the front camera is the big news that had the biggest change for the 17. The Pros were completely redone though. Where if you took a 16 and 17, you hold it side by side, the non-Pros, you're like, okay, they're similar in terms of external, probably internal. It's pretty much the same. The Pros, they really making an aluminum unibody, which is a big deal. Making the back, the back glass.
So before you get into too many details, Dave, which we're going to cover anyway, I guess, was there anything really that shocked you? And if no, then that doesn't surprise me because nothing really shocked me either.
The only thing that shocked me was in the air, the internals, including like the chip, was the Pro chip. It wasn't the base chip. That was the really, because it's that thin. I thought they would go with the lower powered chip for thermal reasons. And for cost reasons, to be honest.
I think that's because they want to sell it.
Pro internal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because they want to sell. That's the first thing that came to my mind anyway. Dwight, you said you really didn't see a lot of it, but anything stand out to you, like maybe the colors or
Yeah, I mean the colors were
performance or anything?
catching, the 8 times zoom, I think. Um, I try to shoot in RAW primarily, so a 48 megapixel ultra wide to me didn't get me too excited. The eight the 8 times would be interesting to play with. Um, Other than that, honestly, I'm semi underwhelmed by the Pro models this year. And the fact that normally the Pro Max model has usually something just a little bit more than the smaller Pro model. They appear to be the same. It's just a size difference now. So now, if I'm going to upgrade, I need to decide whether I want to stay with a larger phone or maybe a smaller phone this time.
Yeah,
I'm kind of on the fence.
yeah. So for me to answer that question, I would have to say, nothing really surprised me. The rumor mills and the leaks are getting so accurate, you'd almost think Apple's letting them out themselves. Like, I mean, I'm talking like the big guys at Apple are just letting them out somehow. I don't think that's the case, but boy, oh boy, they're bang on pretty much for what they are. Um, so okay, well let's jump into the iPhone 17. And Dave, you said the front camera was probably the biggest change. Uh, I think you're right. It's definitely improved, and
Mhm.
it's not going to make me take any more selfies.
No.
No,
but
no, but oh, go ahead, Dwight.
but I was just gonna say, but it's definitely an improvement, big time. So I'll let you talk a little bit about it there if you like.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's similar to if you have an iPad, or I think the newest iMacs have this center stage camera where basically it's a larger sensor up to 18 megapixels. So if you're doing video conferencing, this is a big help. And the fact that as you're moving the phone around, it goes and because I'm guessing it's cropping, it's only using a bit of the sensor or some of the sensor, it's keeping you centered as you're moving the camera around. So, and if someone else comes into the camera with you, it'll zoom out automatically. So I can see this is a big deal for people who use their camera, not necessarily the front camera, not to take photos per se. Even though I could see for group photos that would be a big help, but if you're doing video conferencing, big help that way. Or
Content creators.
yeah, content creators also because of the square design of the chip, they say if you want to have a horizontal shot, so if you have like four people around you, you want a horizontal selfie, where now we have to hold the phone sideways and it can get a little, it's not as secure as a vertical, just physics. Uh, you can just rotate the image to make it landscape, but keep the phone vertical. That's a
Yeah,
nice little touch. That is a nice little touch there.
yeah. So we'll just quickly run over some of the specs on it. Okay, the iPhone 17 is going to have a 6.3-inch display, so I think that's the same as the Pro, and
Mm-hmm.
brighter OLED. It's got the Pro Motion screen. There's some definite improvements in the phone itself, but as far as the camera goes, 48 megapixel dual fusion rear camera system, high resolution main and ultra wide lenses deliver crisp, detailed images, hybrid focus pixels. I don't know what that is exactly, but I'm sure we'll find out someday. So the main camera has a 48 megapixel fusion camera, 26 millimeter focal length at f1.6. That is a nice aperture. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
work really well in low light. The telephoto camera will be 12 megapixel. Now it's fusion, so all that means is that it's going to crop down on the sensor to give you that 52 millimeter focal length,
Mm-hmm.
because it's still got the same aperture 1.6. So that's going to be nice 2 times images in low light will be good too. The ultra wide camera, 48 megapixel, 13 millimeter focal length f2.2. I think that's fairly similar to what we have now today.
Mhm.
And the macro is a 12 megapixel, a 1 times macro, 26 millimeter focal length f2.2. So, the macro, I don't think it's changed much either in its ability. Oh, is that Leo?
No, that's Rosie.
Oh, that's Rosie. Okay.
That's Rosie. Yeah.
Um, so those are basically the basic specs for those cameras. The
Yeah. There was
front-facing
a
camera.
let's say there was a question in chat about did they move the location because now you do have a camera control on the base model.
Okay, did they move the camera control? Like
And it
most people, I thought
looks
it was
like it's pretty
awkwardly
much in the same
placed.
location.
I never noticed, but if let's see
If
if I
it was moved, it would be a minor move. I mean, it's still in the same general location, so they did not really move it. So,
I
but the
think
seven,
looking at the picture on the website, it looks like it's pretty much in the same spot. It's
yeah,
still fairly high up on the side of the phone. I think people were hoping it would be lower, so it would be easier to get to when you're holding your phone sideways like this, but it looks like it's in the same spot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of unfortunate, I would say, but um, let's get back to some of these real
Yeah.
quick here. Some of the comments. Norman says underwhelmed at the moment, but that may change after some practical review experience. The A19 Pro chip might be interesting. Yeah, I think the A19 Pro will be very stout, pretty powerful, and the liquid cooling I think will help in the Pro phones. Let's see now. Who was it? Todd had something here.
let's say that is one thing we can only see the specs that came out.
Yeah.
And Apple has so much kind of baked into the chip when it comes to the processing side. And how because people even say way back, we're talking years ago, it's like I have an 11, I have a 12. The 12 is warmer than the 11 because of how it's coded in for processing the photo. So we don't know if there's going to be changes that way. And when Dwight was saying about the 8x, the 8x zoom is the same way the 1x, the 2x, I mean, is in. So I don't know if you can do that raw or not. Can you currently, if you do 2x currently on the main camera, can you do that in raw?
No.
Only if the third-party app has the option. I don't think there is.
No,
Okay, because
Pro Raw,
that's the
Pro
8x.
Raw, but not
Pro
raw.
Raw you can, yeah.
Because that's how the 8x is. The 8x is
It's a crop.
optical light zoom. Yeah, it's a crop.
It's
Okay.
optical, but it's a crop. That's all. That's what makes it. But we'll get to the Pro after we get through these other ones. And that's why I moved Todd's comment there. I'll save it for when we get to the Pro models here. So as far as the 17 base phone goes, that's pretty much it. Nothing really sets it apart from the other two yet. They always cover the base model, the base phone first, because that's going to have, what all of them will have, I think, as far as camera features goes. And I don't think there's much
and I
else
think
we
it's
can
geared
say.
towards most of the population. That's what they're going to
Yeah.
end up getting.
Yeah.
And
so it'll
honestly, I'm sorry, Greg, but
no, go
I
ahead.
was saying, looking at the 17, the base model now, with the larger screen being 6.3, the fact that the main Fusion camera looks very similar to the Pro main Fusion camera, maybe not as good, but it's pretty damn close. The main thing it looks like you're missing with the Pro for most people, other than the inability to shoot in RAW, is the now 4x zoom lens. But I would say for a, a vast amount of people, because we know that we are not the only ones who make decisions per se. People come to us, and I'm sure people come to our listeners like, hey, you have an iPhone. What do you think I should get? And I think for a lot of people, if they don't need that zoom or if they don't need to shoot in RAW, the base model, which has not gone up in price, is a really strong camera and it will take great photos too.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the 17 base, other
Mm-hmm.
than, it starts at 256 gigabytes, has, black, lavender, mist blue, and sage and white for colors.
Very
And all
pastel-y, very pastel-y.
yeah, very, light and fun, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes for all iPhones that were released, and actually all the products they released today, watches and AirPods. The pre-order begins on Friday, September 12th at 5 a.m. Pacific or 8 a.m. Eastern. So wherever you are in the world, you'll have to realize that that's the time. And then they'll be shipped to people's doors on Friday, September 19th. So it's very similar to last year's rollout.
Or pick up in the store.
Or pick up in the store, yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting that because there's no Apple store near me. I'm at the mercy of the FedEx, UPS, whoever is going to be delivering it. But so the iPhone 17 Air, everybody basically knew it was coming if you're paying attention to the rumors, and uh, really light, really thin, like 5.6 millimeters thin. But the camera bump really, really sticks out on that. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be, I don't know, it may not be an issue for anybody, but, ceramic shield 2 on the front and back, same as I think they're all like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's going to have the nice display. It's going to have a little bigger display than the 17. So it goes to 6.5 inches. And it's got a Super Retina XDR display with ProMotion. It's really going to have a nice display on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, like you mentioned earlier, it's going to have the A19 Pro chip in it, and for performance and efficiency, and the battery in that thing. You guys see how big the battery in that thing is?
Mm-hmm.
It takes up most of the back of that inside of that phone. Um, New Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, Thread connectivity. I'm not sure what that Thread connectivity is, but that sounded interesting.
That's smart devices.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you have smart devices, where in the past you had Google Home and then Apple and then this company, that they all have one where if it's Thread, it works across devices and across manufacturers. So all you
Okay.
have to do is, if you have Thread on your phone, all you have to do is look for something with Thread compatibility instead of saying, okay, well, I would really like this, but it's not Apple Home compatible. All you have to do is look for Thread now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Um, I was surprised at the battery life of the Air because I'd heard a lot of people say that it might not be that long, but they're saying all day battery life. So do they mean all day or all day 9 to 5? Like, but I'm assuming they mean all day. Like you'll probably get 12 to 14 hours at least, if
Yeah.
not more. Um, let's see here. It's got the new cell chip. So as far as cameras go, rear 48 megapixel dual camera system, including a 12 megapixel telephoto lens. So that's that fusion system. So
Mm-hmm.
um, the main camera, 26 millimeter focal length at f1.6. There's that nice aperture again.
Yeah.
And then the 2x is the 12 megapixel, 52 millimeter. It has 100% focus pixels, which is what I believe the phones have now.
Mm-hmm. The
And
pros do at least, yeah.
yeah, and it's got the same 18 megapixel front camera, center stage camera that the iPhone 17 has, and it also has front and rear recording, which is like dual capture, which is something that um, Christopher Cohen's Filmic company put out back when the iPhone 11 came out. I think they had an app called forget what it's called, but I I don't even know if it's available anymore, or I think it is. But
I
anyway,
know I have it installed. I know I have it installed. I don't know if it's new. And one of the reasons I'm using my phone as my camera here, so I can't just pick up my phone and look at the apps.
yeah.
But I do know. I want to say it's still available because recently I tried to use it and I had to re-download it. And I don't think you can do that. You can't re-download it if they take it off the App Store.
Oh yeah, that could be. But anyway, they come out with this app that does that, but now it's built into the 17 Air, and anything that is different in the Air from the 17 base phone, as we go through these, the new things that we talk about will be new in that probably in that model generally. That's something I noticed with Apple is when they talk about something, it's usually a new feature to the device that they're talking about, and then anything after that, it's probably going to be available on that too. So, this type of thing will be available on the Pro as well, but just not on the 17 by the sounds of it, because I don't believe it was mentioned for the 17. So let's see here. Yeah, not much else to say about the. Um, oh, there is a little bit else. There, okay, 256 gigabyte to start for storage, and the colors are black, white, beige, and light blue. There's a new generation of photographic styles, which includes bright style, and that brightens skin tones and gives a little bit of a vibrancy to across the whole image. So that'll be an interesting one to play around with.
Well,
So,
hopefully that will be available to everyone else too.
um,
And it isn't a 17 exclusive.
I think it will be anybody who can do the photographic styles, that
That
came
would
out last
make sense,
year. I
but
think.
no, that would make sense. But we also seen times when Apple has said exclusive to the newest phone. You're like, why? Besides marketing.
So
Well,
you'll
unless
buy it.
it's just an A19 Pro thing, right? It could be just exclusive to the A19 Pro chip, but I can't see that. I can see them if it's a photographic style. I can see it being available for any phone that can run that, but I guess
Yeah.
we'll see, right?
I'd like to put
Um,
this thing on a fulcrum and see how much force it takes to bend it.
To bend it.
Yeah,
well,
or
they
twist
said it
it.
exceeded their standards.
I don't know if they
For their
mentioned
strength.
what those standards were.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
made of titanium too.
yeah, but they did make it out of titanium, so that does help versus stainless or aluminum. Aluminum being
Yeah,
really soft,
and
pretty soft
they
metal.
machine out channels too, which strengthens it.
You can be assured that some dingbat YouTuber will go out and spend the money on one of those phones just to bend it and see how quickly or what it takes to break it.
Sure.
I hate it
And
when
they're
they
going
do
to be
that because
and they're going to be in Australia,
yeah,
so
probably.
they can get it like 12 hours ahead of
Oh
everyone
yeah,
else.
they can be the first ones to show it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the final thing on the 17 Air is that there's 4 focal lengths that you can get. 26 millimeter, 28 millimeter, 35 millimeter, and 52 millimeter, all available in one camera because of the 48 megapixel sensor and cropping it and everything else. So those are the focal lengths that you can get. Moving on to the Pro and Pro Max. Now the
Greg,
Pro and Pro Max.
before you move on real quick, one thing that really impressed me, and it's somewhat related to the camera, is we were looking at the mock-ups. You look at the mock-ups beforehand and you saw this massive bump in the back, and you're wondering, why is there a massive bump back there going all the way across? And because it's like, okay, is there going to be cameras? And we found out the entire brains of the entire phone is in the bump.
Yeah,
That
pretty
bump
much because the
has,
battery's so big.
yeah. So pretty much everything but like the connector, which has to be at the bottom, everything else is in that bump area, which is crazy how small they can get. And cool. We'll see if it's going to overheat being that small. But to shove everything that small, especially the Pro chip, you know, to move it that small to have the rest of the battery. It's almost like how iPads are. You know, iPads are very little nothing of circuit board and a whole bunch of battery.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll take some of the rock out of the phone too on the table. If it's right, you've got your 3 points now.
Yeah,
That's true.
but, you know,
Yeah.
the camera lens does stick up just a little bit more than the rest of the bump, so you might still have that
Yeah.
that rock, you know?
Yeah, but the camera won't. You'll have a case on it that I think will take care of that.
Yeah, that's true, and I have a word on cases. We'll get to that at the end here probably, but, um, so anyway, the Pro models, both basically identical except,
Mhm.
Size and, you know, battery size, which would probably have an effect on battery life.
Mhm.
They've been doing this basically since the 15, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, the 15 Pro
The
and Pro
15, I think,
Max.
was a little different.
Yeah, the 15 Pro Max
And
had
yeah.
the 5 times, and the 15
Mhm.
Pro, did it have the 5 times or 3 times?
No, they had the 3. They
Oh,
had the
okay.
3.
So the 16 is
Yeah.
when they started making them exactly the same.
Well, they
Okay.
also did it in the past too. I think the 12 or the
Oh, yeah.
11, you know,
Yeah.
that was the same, or even going back to, you know, like the set. I don't forget if the 7 was, but in the past, they, you know, admittedly a decade ago almost now. But it
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, the only difference between these two are just the size of the screen.
I don't know
Yeah.
if
And
the
then they
16.
switch it here and there.
I don't know if
Yeah.
the 16 Pro has the 2 times. I think isn't it a 2.5?
No, it's
Oh, I
2 because it's the crop of the main Fusion camera.
yeah, I think they're identical. I think
Yeah.
they are. Um, so we've mentioned that they have a thermal, liquid cooling type of thing, all aluminum unibody and, the vapor chamber, that's the cooling. Ceramic shield 2, front and back,
Mhm.
full width rear camera bar, so performance, the A19 Pro, all these other things, the CPU and GPU and all that stuff, you can see that on the Apple website, and I'll put a link in the show
Mhm.
notes for those. Um, so the camera system, triple 48 megapixel fusion cameras. No surprise because that was heavily rumored. And they say that it delivers the equivalent of 8 uh, focal lengths in your pocket, so those focal lengths are macro. And then in millimeters, you got 13, 24, 28, 35. Those are all available with the main camera. And then with the telephoto, you've got, um, what did I say?
I think
13
it's
is the
more.
ultra wide, sorry. Then
Yeah.
the main camera is 24, 28, 35, and 48.
Mhm.
And then with the telephoto, you've got 100 millimeter and 200 millimeter. So that's the 4 times optical. That's the full 48, and then the 200 millimeter is cropped in, just like the main crops in to get 48. The telephoto is going to crop in to give you 200, and so that brings me back to Todd's question earlier. If I can see it. Yeah, I think this is it here. You're surprised about the 8 times zoom on the Pro. That said, are we going to still use our reflex 10 times add-on lens?
Mm.
If it works, you darn right. I would have absolutely a blast using that 240 millimeter lens on. Well, is basically it'll be on the 4 times telephoto, but you can actually bump it up to 8 times. Um, Reflex is going to have to get their app ready for that because
Mhm.
with the normal with the Apple camera system, it'll mess it up. It'll try to use the main camera and all that stuff like it always does. I think. I doubt they will make it so that it forces the telephoto like we want it to. But anyway, but yeah. So the question is there when it comes to these lenses, will they be compatible with these sensors? Because the sensors will change in size. I think they said the telephoto sensor is twice as big as it was before. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out with these lenses, but I guess we'll see. You know, these companies have their homework to do once they get these phones in their hands. So when I okay, the cat's out of the bag. I'm gonna get a Pro Max, and when I get it, I'm gonna use the Apple camera probably exclusively until I find out what these lens companies are able to do with their apps. I was, I put the question under my name on the screen there. Am I getting the new phone? So I guess I basically just spilled the beans. So the cameras, telephoto is a 48 megapixel 4x fusion telephoto camera with the two focal lengths we talked about. f2.8 hybrid focus pixels, 3D sensor shift OIS, optical image stabilization, and a tetraprism design. That's pretty much the same as it's been since the 15, I think. And 12 megapixel 8x telephoto camera. That's the one where you get the 200 millimeter focal length and f2.8. So that's the same as the 48 megapixel main sensor that came out with the 14 Pro phones. You got 48 megapixels at the best you can get, and with the 17 Pros, it's 100 millimeter focal length. But when you crop in on the sensor, you're still getting an optical focal length, but it's gonna be 200. So it's it's just cropping the sensors all it's doing. And there it is. There, the 56% larger sensor on the telephoto cameras than the 16 Pro.
That's nice. That's nice, especially for low light. Hopefully, that'll help with low light too.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I could have made note of the nanometers, the pixel sizes in nanometers, but I mean, that's people can look that up and see what they have. But what were you going to say there, Dave?
Well, just that the 48 megapixel on the telephoto, that is new, where before it was a lower resolution. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see how the third-party apps handle, the 8x zoom, quote unquote 8x zoom, because in reality, Apple decreased the zoom from the 16. The actual physical lens from a 5x to a 4x. So even though there's an optical 8x, but if you do with, if you want the full 48 megapixel size, you only have a 4x versus the 5x now.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what the difference is there. And hopefully by reducing the zoom, that's part of the making low light better. Because as far as I understand, the more zoom there is, the worse it is in low light generally. Unless you go crazy and, make the entire back of the camera a lens.
Well, I mean, who knows what they've done? They said they've done something with the photonic engine too. That's going to improve low light pictures, right? So
they mentioned that.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff is it remains to be seen type of thing. So the same front camera as we mentioned with the 18 megapixel center stage and all that stuff. Dual capture, front and rear recording. We could get into the video stuff, but I mean, the big thing that they talked about with video was ProRes RAW, and then this Gen Lock thing. I'm not sure what that even is. It's something to do with editing, I think.
Well, that's more of if you're using multiple cameras. So if you're using like 3 or 4 different cameras to shoot something, and you use it, as far as I understand the Gen Lock, it makes it easier to go, okay, this footage is from camera 1, this one's from camera 2. You won't have to because they're 2 different cameras, now I have to adjust the one so you can't tell. It should take care of that automatically.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing they showed during the presentation was the half circle of what was it, 30 phones, where they were able to do like a freeze frame, like out of the Matrix.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just with that Gen lock, it's able to switch between phones a lot easier.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Norman says we're all models 24 millimeter on the 1X sensor, or did I see 26? So the iPhone base, like the base iPhone and the iPhone Air were 26 millimeter, and the Pros were 24 millimeter. And Todd says, I was confused with Dave's comment. Will the 8 times zoom be 48? No, it's 12. It's 12 megapixel
Nice.
because of the cropping the sensor.
Mhm.
So yeah, like as far as video goes, I mean, it's one thing they showed off was how tough these things are. You know, they showed them taking video and recording video in the worst conditions, right? That'll be what it'll be.
Including being just like Miley Cyrus coming
Yeah, the
in on
wrecking
a
ball.
wrecking ball. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Todd, I think that's an argument to use continue using the reflex lens on the main camera for the higher resolution.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I really hope those lenses work on these phones. I really do. But remains to be seen. Colors, deep blue, cosmic orange, and silver. So just 3 colors this year.
Mhm.
And, you know, again, pre-orders Friday and availability the following Friday. So, yes, Norman, it will be interesting
Mhm.
to see how Project Indigo responds. I'm sure they'll respond quite nicely to
Yeah.
these cameras. Can you imagine
Yeah.
the 200 millimeter focal length
Mm.
with Project Indigo, where you can go double that or whatever it is?
Yeah, because right now you can do in Project Indigo a digital 25x.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
if you could do a
they did say that the digital zoom
Mhm.
capability will be 40 times.
Yeah, I want to see how that turns out.
Yeah,
I'm really curious to see how much machine learning and processing to make the 40x decent.
yeah.
'Cause
I've
that's
never been a
where
proponent of digital zoom anyway, but the
Project
Project
India
Indigo, it does seem to do a nice job.
it blows it away.
Yeah.
I mean, uh, I took a picture of a bug on our windshield
Yeah, did you happen
that
to
I
kill it?
posted. No, because I was
Oh.
driving. I literally was on the road,
Yeah.
stopped at a stoplight, and the thing stayed on the hood for miles.
Now, before anybody gets upset, I only asked that question to Dave because they're under orders to do away with
Yeah.
these things. I guess they're a menace to society.
It's a spotted lanternfly. To humans, it's not poisonous or it's not going to hurt you, but they kill trees left and right, and it's an invasive species. It's not a local species. So yeah,
Right.
they're basically saying if you see the thing, just step on it.
Yep. Yeah. So, let's see if we can address some of these questions from the chat here. Let's see. I'll go back. Okay, the camera control button. So Will Newcomb says he'll like the brighter screen when taking photos in strong sunshine. So yeah, that was another thing that they mentioned was the screen will be a little brighter. From an engineer, Norman says, from an engineering perspective, the redesigned interior to put most of the technology in the top section, this is the iPhone Air, next to the camera lenses is an interesting development. Yeah, but like you said, Dave, it'll be interesting to see if that heats up or not.
Yeah.
And Wilbur says he was happy to see the Pro with the same cameras as the Pro Max. That means he can buy considering only size and weight.
That was my number one takeaway out of this whole entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're looking at what, $100 less for the Pro than the Pro Max? You're getting the same phone.
Yeah.
Getting the same camera system. Of course, that's $500,000 for me up here in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked that the prices stayed close to what they were last year.
Well, I think they were exactly the same, are they not?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of the 128 tier. So So for the same level, but they got rid of the low end.
Yeah.
So they didn't just say, okay, well, it was $999 last year with 128. Now it's $999 with 256. Now it's just like we're
So
going
it's
to
actually
keep
a better deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg's
And the
all in
fact-
on the 2 terabyte.
Was that?
You're all in on the 2 terabyte model.
Do you know what that would cost me here in Canada?
I don't think they've rolled out pricing yet for that, have they?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can go on the Apple Store app, and
Can you do it on the website?
you can spec out what you want, and then just save it so that when you go to pre-order, it's already done. You just have to hit the buy button.
Yeah.
And I didn't spec out the 2 terabytes, and it's only available on the Macs. So be aware of that if you're thinking about it. But it would probably cost me, I bet you, $2,200-$2,300
US.
Well, the base
Canadian.
model, the base model in the US is I'm going around here 1,200, and the 2 terabyte is 2,000.
Ooh.
The base Pro Max model here in Canada is $1,749 Canadian.
Ooh.
But I've always been fine with a 256 gigabyte phone.
Yeah.
I've never ever had an issue running out of storage.
I would say unless you're filming movies or your main job is to shoot photos in RAW,
Yeah.
in
cases like that, though, you might want to attach a little hard drive to it, right? Especially if you're gonna do the filming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Wilbur says, which phone were they talking about with the words optical zoom were mentioned? I think I think all of them really, because optically you're going to get on the iPhone 17, you're going to get 1x or 2x, and they're going to be optical, but they're just cropping the sensor. That's all it is. That's not a digital zoom. Some people call it a digital zoom, but it really isn't. It's optical. But you're only utilizing a smaller part of the sensor to get the same, or to get the optical zoom that you want. With the Air, you're getting what did I say the focal lengths were? 26, 28, 35, and 52. I believe those are all optical focal lengths because of the 48 megapixel sensor. You're starting at 26, and that's using the whole sensor. Go down a little bit, just like you can with the phones now. They've got different focal lengths like this. 28 cuts a little bit down on the sensor. 35 goes a little bit more. 52 goes at least at exactly halfway. You're using half the pixels in the center part of the frame or of the sensor. And then the same applies for the Pro phones with their okay, so in the main camera you got 24, 28, 35, and 48. And then with the telephoto you got 100 and 200. So it's basically just using the whole sensor for the lowest number and then going down in increments to get the other numbers. It's optical. If you go in between those for focal lengths, then you're digitally zooming. And it could be argued that between 24 and 48, anywhere in there should be optical, but I don't know if it is.
Well, I think the problem is that you have to match out exactly, so you're using the whole pixels.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a zoom that is like a third of the way there, you're going to get part of one pixel. If you were trying just to kind of say, okay, here's the main one. We're just going to start using less and less pixels. You would be on like half of a pixel. So it says, okay, well, so here's the closest here. Here's the closest here. And we're going to interpolate between the two sizes. And that's the digital part, the interpolation between whole pixels.
Yeah. Yeah. Norman says he was fascinated by the pricing model, especially with tariffs. Yeah. It sounds to me like Apple's going to eat a lot of the tariff costs up. And they bloody well should. They've got the money. They can do it. And he also says they've got prices in the UK and the trade-in values, which we have here too. Trade-in value will not be accurate until they get the device in their hands and give you an accurate
Yeah.
value. And then so you buy it outright if you're going to buy from Apple. You buy it outright, and then when you send them the trade in, they'll evaluate it, put a price on it, and then refund you that much on your credit card. That's how that works. And Wilbur says, to him, or to me, Wilbur says, optical zoom means a lens element has to move. That's true in traditional cameras. But with these things, since the lenses don't move, then they have to adjust. Like in that case, if the optics move in the lens, the sensor size doesn't change. But they're basically reverse engineering it to where the lenses don't move, so the sensor size has to change to make it optically different.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way I can explain
It's
that.
computational. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's computational, but it's still optical, I guess. Yeah. So I said I was going to do a word on cases, and so when the 15s came out, they had this thing called fine woven, and I don't have mine with me right now, but it was a disaster in my opinion because they looked like they looked terrible after a year of use. In and out of your pocket, whatever. They could scratch, all that stuff. They were not very nice. So when I got my 16, I got the clear silicone case, and it's really nice. It hasn't worn as far as color goes and all that stuff. Looks very similar to what you had on your. Well, you have a clear case on yours, don't you, Dave? Oh, you must be muted.
Hold on. Yeah, I had to mute because Charlie was barking in the background. I have a third-party clear case.
Yeah, but it's still good. It's not
Oh, yeah.
fading or it's not turning yellow or anything.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks nice.
Mhm.
With the clear silicone case on the 17s, on the Pros, I hate what they've done. They put where the glass part is on the back where the MagSafe stuff is inside. The clear case has a great big white splotch on it
Oh,
with
really?
the Apple logo in the middle. If you go to the Apple website, maybe I can pull it up and screen share it. They are, in my opinion, butt ugly. Let me see if I can find it. So I have elected to go with the new, what do they call it? Tech woven case.
The basket weaving one?
Yes, the basket weaving one. And they said that's got a coating on it that's supposed to prevent it from the wear and tear.
Now, did you get the crossbody strap also?
No, because you know how much that thing is?
Yeah, I
It
know.
costs the same as a
$60.
bloody case.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think it
that
would
ain't
look
happening.
good on you, though, Greg, walking around town.
Well, you know
Nah.
what? Where that strap really will come useful, and we wouldn't get it being all guys. Most women pants do not have pockets.
Yeah, so
That's
they
true.
carry it in their handbag. Yep.
Well, yeah, but the phones are getting big enough at 6.9 inches. It's getting large, and it's if you want to carry a smaller handbag, it's taking up a lot of space in there. So I can see, for people who maybe don't have the extra room in their pockets, I could see them using the strap, or it could just be something like the iPhone sock or the not iPhone, the iPod sock, which has kind of died. No one talks about it anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so here is the let me get this up here. Okay, there's the tech woven case.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. I think it'll probably look better in real life than it does on the screen. but there is the clear case, and on the silver phone, it looks fine. But can imagine that big white splotch covering up all that
Oh,
nice
you know what
orange
that
or
is?
blue.
Are you
No.
sure it's not see-through? I think it's still see-through.
You know what, Greg? I know what that is. No, I know what that is. That's the MagSafe part.
Well, why is the glare showed right across? I think that's
That
the
I
case.
don't know. I don't know, but I have a white ring on the back of my phone, on the
Yeah.
back of my case. It's a white ring and a little tail down below. And that's where the that basically it's a magnet, so you can use MagSafe with the case.
Well, let me
Because
do a little
I'm
bit
looking
more
at
investigating here.
like the iPad. I'm looking at the iPhone Air case with MagSafe and has the exact same ring on the back as mine.
And Greg, that was sitting on top of a box or something, wasn't it? Wasn't it just taking the white background from that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Let me just I'm going to go to the Apple store on the web here. And let's see here. Go to iPhone and then iPhone accessories. And I'm pretty sure that this thing, let me find the pros with the clear case.
Yeah, because I see the Air with the clear case, but I'm looking for the pros.
Yeah. Yeah, the Air has a nice, completely clear case.
Well, it looks like it, but you still have that circle with the Apple logo and the little vertical line on there too.
Okay, I don't know why they don't have the clear silicone case for the pros. Wait a minute. No,
Yeah,
I'm not finding it.
No, I'm not either. I'm seeing the clear case for, the case for the Airs, but the only thing I see for the pros
is the tech woven.
Tech woven, yeah, and the silicon for the 17, and then the bumper for the Air also.
Okay, I'm going to go right to the iPhone itself on the store, and no, that's just showing me the other stuff. Anyway, I know what I saw, and I saw these big white splotch on all the colors.
I see it too, Greg.
Well, you see it?
I know. Yeah, I found it. Let me zoom in. Okay, I think I know what you're seeing. It's, how they sometimes have a diagonal line through the entire product.
Yeah.
To show you what it looks like. That's what it is.
Yeah, but so that means the white is part of the case.
No.
I don't think so. That would look horrible.
Yeah, that diagonal line that you're seeing is just saying, here's what it looks like in a light condition. Here's what it looks like in shade. That's all that is. It's not no. The only thing you'll see here, that white is not part of it. It's clear. This one is not MagSafe. So the only thing it'll be clear in the middle, and it'll have the Apple logo, and that'll be the same place the Apple logo is on your phone. So you really won't notice that.
Well, if it's clear, if it's truly clear, then I'll have to cancel the order that I made for the woven one and get the clear one, because I want a clear case.
That's how I'm seeing it. Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it. Because it says with MagSafe, so I imagine there is a MagSafe magnet in the middle there. But yeah, I don't see the way I'm seeing it, and I do see why it looks like that. But yeah, if you look at the other cases with the other color, you can see it's just a way to show how the different shades look.
Yeah.
So that's all it is to it.
Okay, hang on. Here's 17 Pro clear case with MagSafe.
You found the actual case?
Okay, let me get back to
Yeah, and zoom. Click on the image to zoom in on it, so it goes full screen.
And if anybody's listening, and I'm forgive me if you don't give two hoots about this, but it's something that I noticed. So there it is there.
Okay. Yep. So
Oops,
if you
I accidentally clicked something. So now let me go back to Safari. Let me click on that.
And then click on the image one more time. So you see, if you look at the upper left lens, you see how it looks like it's cut in half?
Yeah, I know.
But that's the same, but you follow that line down to the bottom right.
If you follow that line down.
That's what I'm saying. Right there. So that, yeah.
But
so
see
that
where
line,
the line changes with the bend there? That's reflecting on the case itself.
I think that's just showing what it looks like in the light in a light versus dark.
No, I'll bet my lunch that is white part. That white is in the case.
Mm-mm.
If they're trying to sell the case here, and they're not going to.
Why would they show that white? That's what
because
I don't
it's
get.
white. They've made that part of the case all white rather than put the white circle with the line on it. They've elected to go all white.
You need the white circle with
it's embedded in that. It's embedded in that white. It'll be embedded in that white. I'll bet you.
You know what? I'm interested to see in store, in person, what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it'll show that way then.
Well, why would they show
Greg, if you're wrong, you have to get that accessory and wear your watch around your neck for a week around town.
Pretend you're Flavor Flav.
Yeah. But I think that's what it is. I think it's a big white freaking dumbass square in the middle of that beautiful clear case that blocks all that lovely orange. I don't think I'm wrong. This is going to make an interesting chapter in the podcast. But anyway, I'm gonna go with the tech woven.
Now, what color are you going with the phone?
That one right there. I stopped screen sharing.
Okay,
I am gonna go with the color that's in the Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah.
Okay.
The orange.
Oh, okay.
That orange. I got two lights here. I got a blue and I got an orange. I'm gonna go with the orange. The orange shirt.
Okay. Now, are you going to go with the sienna case?
Yes,
to match
that's the
it?
one.
Okay,
that's the one. Yeah, I think anything else looked too contrasty.
So you are getting the new phone, Greg.
I am.
New iPhone Pro Max.
I'm committed.
Yeah.
I'm going to trade in my 15 Pro Max.
I will as well, in the spirit of this podcast. I just figure at least a couple of us should have the latest model. That's part of my justification. My other part of the justification is that I'm on the Apple iPhone update program, so it's perpetual payments and forever. So I can continue to pay this one off or pay the same amount of money for the new one. So that's kind of this. Yeah. So that's the situation I'm in. As far as what I saw today, a little bit underwhelmed, but I think the majority of this was geared more towards content creators. That's where everything's going, with the social media and stuff like that. With that front facing camera, there was just a little bit of emphasis on photography. So this definitely wasn't a photography hardware rollout. That's why I had a little bit of pause with it. But I think, Greg, as you had said earlier, there might be some other stuff that we haven't seen yet, based on the chip and this and that. There's no way they can cover all that. So I'm going to stick with the latest and greatest, and just be able to represent the latest model with you. And I too like the orange as well.
Yeah, I was tempted to go with the blue. Like, the rumors were showing blue and orange, and I mean, I knew we weren't going to know what they were going to look like until they announced them. because people can guess all they want.
Well, you picked it out of the event. You picked it out of the event, and I thought that was pretty brilliant. I mean, when they notified this Apple event, there were the two colors in there that you kind of picked out of there. You said,
Oh, the invitation, yeah,
that was good.
yeah, and I think I basically it wasn't all me. I'm not gonna take all the credit for picking that out. I did hear that from, I think it was Mac Break Weekly, when they were talking about the invites, and they said, "Oh, maybe the phone colors," because I mean the rumors were yellow, or the rumors were blue and orange, but then they had that brilliant yellow in that invitation too, and I'm not okay. Surely they're not going to have a yellow Pro phone, but I think there's some. Well, there's the pale yellow. I think I'm not sure. I forget what all the colors are. My mind's been boggled trying to keep all this stuff straight so we can talk about it here. But
Yeah.
so Will says he'll get a third-party case with MagSafe ring, which can fold out to prop it up on a table. I use mine like that every day with his 12 Pro Max. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I don't know. I don't generally prop mine on the table much. I got enough of these little phone stand things around here that I can prop it up on them. But and Norman says, going back to the optical zoom question, there's an interesting short video showing how smooth the transition is across all three lenses for the 8 times optical from 0.5 to 8 times.
Oh, cool.
So where is that, Norman? Is that on YouTube, or does somebody have that on a website? I'd be interested in having a look at that.
I know when I've seen reviews of old, like the 15 and the 16, that's one thing a lot of reviewers pointed out was you would have an Android phone and you could see an obvious jump between lenses. Where the iPhone, it's like, it looks like one lens all the way across. It literally just looks like you have one lens and you're physically zooming because it's so smooth.
Yeah, Norman, would you mind putting that link in the chat? That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd like to check that out.
Oh, it's on Jaws's Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So look up Greg Joswiak on X, and we'll be able to find it. So that'll be our little bit of homework to do. Well, okay, guys. So anything else that comes to mind about this whole event? I think I've pretty much exhausted all my my thoughts, especially on the case.
Yeah, I think I have too. I still would have liked to see, and this could be coming. I don't know. I would have liked to see a pro camera option for those of us that are more into photography than just the standard camera.
Because they've got Final Cut camera, which is new and improved.
Yeah, give us the opportunity to shoot with RAW on a native camera and turn off the deep pre-processing, and or so.
Yeah, I would love that. But until then, we're at the mercy of third-party apps, which they're great. They do a great job. Like, man, oh man, I took a shot across the bay, looking at the marina across there, and I haven't processed any of those yet. But I used the 240, of course, on my 15 Pro Max, and the detail looks pretty darn good. There's none of that over sharpening and all that stuff on there. So I'll be curious to jump into them and see how they look. But yeah, there's an audience, or there's a set of consumers slash enthusiasts, whatever you want to call us, that want that, and it would be really nice to be able to use that. So I think the only other big thing that stands out to me is the fact that they're offering a 2 terabyte storage capacity, which will make Jack Hollingsworth absolutely ecstatic. He's been wanting that for a long time. So I know that he'll be getting a Pro Max, and it'll be the 2 terabyte. And this is without even talking to him about it. But and I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get the orange one because he drives an orange Jeep Renegade. So I think Jack, if you're listening, he was on the road, and we were chatting a little bit on Twitter before we come on here, and he was asking what my thoughts were on this event, and I told him, okay, I sent him the link to this YouTube video, so he may be listening right now. I don't know. If you are, Jack, hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Drive
Jack.
safe. But he was on the road, so we'll see what he comes up with. I'm willing to bet that he's going to buy the orange one with the 2 terabyte, because he shoots a lot.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that's all I got, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who joined into the chat, and we really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and share it with others. I'm going to get this out onto the podcast players as soon as we're done here. I'm going to do a quick process of the audio and upload it and send it out. I'm not going to wait till the usual Wednesday morning time, and because I'd like to hopefully get people listening to all this stuff and get our thoughts on it. And we don't try to persuade people to get one or the other, but we just want to inform you what they have and what we thought of the announcement. So
we would also be curious as to what you all decided to do. Are you getting the new one, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let us know in either in the comments here, or go to the Facebook group and kind of spill the beans in there, what you might do or what you like. Give us your thoughts. So anyway, on that note, thanks everybody, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Have a great one, everyone.